Boom. Welcome back. Here we are doing a poker recap for October 3rd, I believe, Friday night. It was a good time. Yeah, so just want to do a quick recap here. We had 88 hands. I ended up taking technically second by about 4 cents, which was kind of frustrating, but it was a good time. So we had a good turnout and very vigorous discussion. It turns out the hot button topics get everyone involved, and I think it's really there's not a lot of good outlets for discussions like this, and I've always kind of preached, between men, we just don't have a nice spot to get your ideas and bounce thoughts of. So I have some ideas for the future. Abortion can always circle back to, but I think it's good to initiate some fresh topics in as well. So, anyways, like I said, we had constant cards from about 9:20 p.m. until 12:30. It was great. A lot of back and forth, friendly atmosphere, and just want to really thank everyone for coming again. So, anyways, we're going to do a recap here, and I really want to go in on a couple topics. I'm actually going to cover quite a few hands here, so we'll see how long it goes. My wife's at a book club party, and the kids are asleep, so we're going to see how long this goes, but I really want to focus in less so on the winners and the big hands, but we have a few players. We have Tex and Steel, Alex and Chris, who just have had some tough luck, to say the least. And I kind of want to dive in and see what we can do to help them. Of course, Master Chief will have some plays that I'll critique, but there's no fixing him until he decides he wants that to happen. So, anyways, provide some good output here or input here, and hope you guys learn a few things. So, anyways, we have Dan and myself who very very close here, and then we had Eric digging deep into the well to get back to a positive $10. It did require a couple buy-ins, but I'm thankful for his time here as well. Um, and a late appearance from Levi, but yeah, 84 hands, that's a good amount. So yeah, VPIP once again way too high. Alex, this is actually really good. So if we take a peek here at his hands with his 26%, like maybe we just see a lot of bad luck. So pre-flop raise here percentage, nothing too crazy here. I'm always a bit high on the higher end, and attempts to steal. Um, Okay, we see Alex here. I think I remember one play he tried to get away with one, and I didn't let him. So, anyways, matchups always interesting to look at, not as important. Streets, more stuff here as well. Positions, played button. This would be good to dive into a little bit more. Like you can see who is more tight or loose, and for the most part, we're all pretty loose. But Alex definitely playing tighter to the hands, so I am very curious to see what his hands look like here, and we'll kind of go forward from there. Aggression, three bet, blah blah blah, defense. So, okay, here's my hands. I didn't have a lot of great hands. 84 hands, and these are like, you know, there's different methods here, but I tier one hands, probably these top seven here. I had one pair of queens, which did turn out well, pair of tens twice, which did not work out well. And so really just a lot of scraping through the barrel here. And like I said, I think out of the last 5 games, there was only one night where I had a plethora of good hands. So yeah, fun here. I did win a seven deuce hand against Dan. I didn't forget that. But yeah, just if you go with Hellmuth, I do like this. But basically, I only had seven hands that were worth a darn, and 77 that were kind of crap. So really, I didn't get exposed like I probably should have been. So remove that, provide some more space. Bad beats, nothing qualified. We had some big pots here. But yeah, graph. I will keep this on hand as well to kind of take a peek here. And like I said, taking a closer look at Alex and Chris, like they just kind of steady decline the entire time. So we're gonna see what kind of hands they had and showed, and hopefully when I do get a long weekend, I'll be able to input some hand history from people who bring it in and be able to kind of take a peek from there. So, yeah, once again, going to try to get through a lot here. So, if you need to put me on 1.5 or 2x speed to get through, let's see what happens. So, yeah. So we're going to go to the graph here. We're going to get this off to the side and get right into things. So just a quick reminder. So this, remember, this is important. So the Equilab, this is free. It's jank, not even janky. It's just kind of free software. So here we have um, the range of hand. So under the gun, this is the first player to act, and this is why like you want to be further down the line from the dealer chip. So, and this you can adjust this as necessary, but this is just kind of standard. If you are raising out of the first position, which is UTG, these are the cards you want. Everything else you should either probably check or more likely fold. And these are strong hands. So like you should not do that. Under the gun, +1, maybe at ace 10, 2, yeah. So they can all kind of explain once we get back to the chart here. But really your hand range is pretty tight up until you get to, yeah, even cut off, like this is a lot you can bet. But once you get to like big blind and small blind, this is interesting because like it just more calling. And by that I mean you don't want to call a $10 raise, but if they do a $3 raise, and even if you have crap cards like a 7-4 offsuit, like sure, you're already in 80 cents or a buck 60, throw in that extra $2 because like sometimes a bad hand can get there. But once again, all honesty, none of us are very good. Maybe Candy Nuts, but that's kind of it as far as I want to share. So, but for the most part, I think in this range with this group of people, these are the hands that you should be playing. So here, MP3, once again, under the gun. So we have, we'll go to the first hand here, but dealer chip is myself. This would be small blind. This would be big blind. And then this would be under the gun one, under the gun +1. And this might be like a hijack here, or I forget what MP stands for, but this would be them. And then cutoff would be here. So obviously 9-2 doesn't cut it, but just something to think about going forward. These are probably the hands you want to go in. And if you play these other hands, I don't feel bad for you. So lots to learn. So first hand here, I don't think anything happens. Just gonna cycle through, want to kind of see some Master Chief, pair tens, pretty good, but also pocket nines. So that's I'm okay with this bet from Jake, 560. He did call buck 60, sure. If it's $1.60, like you should always just call, especially if you go by pot odds. We can rehash that later. Check, check, three of a kind. It happens, lost $9, but like he had top pair on the flop, but is what it is. So then we're gonna, yeah, and like a lot of these hands, because we do want to focus in on Chris and Alex here. They just don't do a lot, so we're gonna keep an eye for opportunities, and when they do share their cards, and then kind of go from there, especially. So do. So hand two, Master Chief, Ace 10, good hand here. Calling around, Ace 10, good hand, good job by Jake. Okay, I did review this, so like I just want to put so Dan called, or he raised from the dealer chip, which is like what he should do, call, right? Now, this is something, Jake, that you should not do. Like, listen, he has top pair and an ace kicker, which is very good. Now, what he should do is let it check around to Dan and then kind of decide what he does from there. But instead, Jake makes the first move, a big bet, which is the size of the pot roughly, and then everyone folds. That's like called a donk bet. A donk bet or a donkey bet, it's a bad move. I can't totally explain it, but like I said, it just you want to let Dan make the first move because then if he checks, then it's like, okay, then you definitely have the best hand. If he raises, it's like, well, you have a good hand to call and catch bluffs. So that's my thoughts there. Next hand here, it doesn't always show the hands until the end, so I just want to get through and see. Don't see any. We'll skip that one. Not important. Ace 10 from myself here. yeah, just I didn't have anything there. Raise from Alex. We don't know what he has, but like this is defensible. But unfortunately, you need other people to have good hands as well. So I think this was an okay, probably a good raise. He probably had a pair of kings or something, but like, and then make people play to put in. And so, unfortunately for Alex, people played correctly, which is not the usual case here on the board. All right, so Alex here, he has a queen seven showing. Jake with a king seven, and myself with the 9-4. We'll see what happens here. Small blind calls. This is good. Everyone's checking to see. All right, now remember, you have that queen, but like you still kind of have a shit hand. So like you have what's called a good bluff catcher. So like basically, you want to let someone else raise across the board, and as long as it's not absurdly expensive, like you have a good chance to catch. So yeah, I think this is an okay fold because like if I was better at this Equilab calculator, you can like out your hard positions, and I will break this down someday when I have some more time, but we want to just get my hot takes here. So Master Chief, Chris, yeah, call 800, fold, probably a good call. This was a decent start for Jake here tonight, but like as always, it never goes well. So yep, got some hands here. Everyone folds. We're gonna just like skip to the next. Okay. All right. Here, Alex shows the 6-4. He folds. That's a good call there as well. All right, here we go. We have some action from Chris. We have the King 5 here suited, and that's a decent hand. But if we go to our calculator here, um, still not that good. That King 5 suited is there, but that's still not a great hand, but this is a community game. Plus, he's big blind. So, like, if we go here, if we want to go to big blind, he should definitely be playing this hand. So I take that back. Checks across the board. I think this is the right call. Now, Dan hits the 10, top pair on the board. Still should be afraid, but kind of see what happens. 480, defensible, King 7. Sure, I think we get to see some more vintage Jake action here. Call, that's fine. No, so Jake Dan has top pair on the board. This is good. Sure, there could be a straight with a 9 something, but the odds are low once again. So Dan checks and Jake checks, and that's fine. And wins. So not the worst. Not the worst there. Stan, we're just gonna keep going until we find. Okay, yeah, this is a good one to recap here. I definitely found my lucky horseshoe here. Queen Jack, once again, I am the small blind, so my range is higher, but I should probably not be raising, even though this does say raising with the Queen Jack offsuit. Yes. Actually, that's kind of a defensible hand, so I mean, a lot of ranges. So I wanted to make sure that people had good hands to get in. So this is like definitely catching me off guard with two people calling, but like it's already a $30 pot. So of course I'm gonna call $6. I hit the high pair on the board, plus I've got a queen. I feel good. And so checking around, Eric 1760. So here's probably my mistake is going all in. But I don't know. I think I have a lot of pot equity, and which I don't, as I find out. But we get in. Um, Chris has the aces. He should feel good. This is what you want. And like I said, in order to get people's money into the table, they also need good hands. You just need better hands. And unfortunately, I caught the queen at the end and was able to get up pretty high, build a big bankroll. But on these type of events, you got to be understanding that you're probably going to get unlucky a few times and just how you kind of, it's what you do with the rest of the hands. So, all right, back to our chart here. Still not a lot happening. We're at hand 13. This is where Chris falls out, and we'll see Alex number 15 here will loses a pot. So we'll just kind of skip through here. 15 minutes. Okay. Yeah. All good. Whatever. 14. Chris is back in. Ace Jacks. I think we do split this pot. So yeah. All right. Now here we go. We have Alex as our featured player here. He is in the under the gun one, but there's only seven of us. So he probably should not be raising out of here, but he should definitely want to see what the pot looks like. So under the gun, um, plus, yeah, this is technically him here under the gun. But if we go to expand it, so just barely misses the cutoff, but like if we expand here, I guess it still says doesn't play, but I mean it's on the edge. You're fine. So 80, 160 raises to 432, unique bet, but I decide I don't want that smoke. Dan calls, Eric calls. That's a good hand. So yeah, we'll see what happens now. Alex hits the queen high, which is good. This is good. You should feel pretty good. Obviously, two suited doesn't feel good, and with Eric, that doesn't help either. So I think this is interesting. I would not recommend probably raising this much. I think it's good to check around and kind of see. So Eric stays strong, calls, and boom, he's got the flush with one card to go yet. He raises. Now, at this point, Alex probably thinks like, well, shit. But at the same time, it's a already has 60 bucks in the pot. So he's going to call and just drawing dead at this point because there's nothing he can do. So unfortunate there. I think like when you're in this position, because Alex, I'll bring this up, is like you were not in a good position here. You should let Eric make those raises. And like, sometimes it works out, but I think, yeah, I think this was the big mistake here. So just too many options for Eric to have a good hand yet. So, all right, keep scooting around. I don't think anything good happens here. Okay, we got a pair of fours. Jack shit here. And honestly, this might not even be the worst to go all in because you're only going in $6. And two pair does it. So we take those. Okay. Hand 17, 10, 7. Looks like I win $1.70 here. So let's once again, Alex is small blind. I raise, good fold. On to the next. Nobody's showing their cards here. Alex, okay, okay. Alex does all in. I think maybe a little less, but it's not the worst. So at this point, there's just three of us. Maybe if he has a good hand here, I think he probably wants to get a little more money in the pot. Once again, myself and Dan are in tough positions, but actually our ranges should be higher, but you can't call with an ace deuce. All right, here, cycle around. Just a lot of checking. Nothing happens interesting. So, yeah. Naked puts 5-4. I lose $5 here for some reason. I think this was just me throwing my weight around. And yeah, I had no chance here. After this, there's too many good hands that Eric could have. I have zero outs. I'd have to truly outbluff him, but he probably has something. So, all right, we have 8-7 from Chris. See what happens here. Okay, so Chris, this is good. This is what you want. And what I'm telling people is when you have these crap hands, it's worth seeing the flop because if you get that two pair, like you've got it made. Now, if you just get one pair, be very cautious and fold more often than not. But this is a good opportunity here. Now, Jake, he's sitting fine too. He's got that inside straight draw plus two more chances. So I wouldn't even be opposed to a raise here. Raise from Master Chief, call. Now, once again, dealer chip. So Chris has to act first. He should check because Jake raised. Give him the chance to do something. Nothing happens. Good raise, but I think it should be more. Like especially on the river bet, like make Jake want to see it. So even if it's like I recommend half pot or full pot for a lot of stuff. So if it's an even $6, then Jake would have to be like, well, maybe I could beat some hand like because Jake can beat like air, which means he has nothing with his pair of five. So he'd call $6, but maybe not $12. And but he ends up calling here. So I think it's just bet sizing is important and learning people's tendencies. And Chris takes it home for a nice $20 point. All right, here we go. We have another hand here with Chris and Alex, and then myself and a couple other guys who like to throw some money around. Ace Jack. Definitely concerning if you don't hit, which no, no, no. And we have a pair of sevens that hit. So maybe here bet I throw out kind of a bluff. I do not. Checks around. Now we hit. All right, Chris has a good hand, but it's like still kind of worried with the ace, and then also like king 10 is also concerning because that should be in your range potentially. I guess it isn't, but it's like still a decent hand. So yeah, just a lot of checking. Yeah, maybe a small raise, but yeah, it works out. So I don't know what to say there. All right. Hands. Alex, he's checking, raise, fold. All right, we're skipping. Nothing there. All right, here we go. Some good hands, and so let's see what happens. I completely forgot. So, Chris, he has king, queen, offsuit, very good hand. Best hand on the board here. This is also has potential. So once again, I'm like buck 60. I can see this flop because sometime maybe there'd be two diamonds or I flop the flush or something like that. All right, so all of a sudden, and this is another thing. So you see these hands and you get these crap cards. So yes, Chris had a good hand. So maybe he should have raised so that like these shit hands would go, which would mean he should have raised like $4 or $5. So it's just like pretty dangerous. We're checking. This is the right call. Checking again. Um, we see a raise here. Call. Probably okay. And once again, like just scary because there's these cards and it's cheap and get a C. Um, luckily I had nothing, so wasn't interested in seeing. Check, and takes the hand. So good for him. All right, here we go. Another one from Alex here. King 10, decent hand for calling in this game type of game. And he's also sitting in a good position because he's in the last three to act and last at least not the first three. Now he's should be feeling good. Like he should feel like he's got a good hand here. Check, king, pair of kings. That's good. That is good. But then fortunately, three of a kind. So that's just what you're gonna get. So um Alex, he should be a little wary here because he's raising, but at the same time he has kings. So all in, I am perfectly fine with this bet. Like he could add, he has a pair of kings. He feels good. But what do you do? What do you do? And lose out is the answer there. So um, we'll skip there. I think Alex buys in again. We're just gonna keep going here. We're about 24 minutes, so we're gonna try to keep this under a half hour. So we'll just okay. Here we go. Pocket fives. This is a good hand. He is small blind. He should be calling a lot of things here. Um, And let's just check what this says here for not even gonna look. We're gonna go to small blind and it says he should be raising out of that hand. 560, he does exactly that. That is a good raise. We have a call from Eric, and boom, feeling good, feeling very good. But Alex just got in, so maybe Eric tries to bet a lot. That's a tough fold. That's a tough fold because he sees the jack, but he has the pocket fives. Because like this is better than these two cards here. And like Eric did not raise on the pre-flop, so this is one Alex probably wishes he had back. So, um, nothing happens here. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Well, we have a big loss from Chris here. Let's just see what happens. All right, 9-8. Once again, that's what you're hoping for. This is if you have good hands, if you have like pocket tens, you want to be raising so that this kind of shit doesn't happen, or they at least have to pay to have that chance. So, 640, big call. I don't think we will see what Chris has at the end here. Um, check, big raise, and E. So we'll never know. Next hand here, I end up winning big against Dan, but we'll skip that here for a grand total of 14 bucks. Ace nine suited. This is a good hand. He's in against us. Ace, pair of aces, and here's Dan with his pocket fives. So we'll kind of see how Dan plays it here. Once again, worse situation than Alex was in before. Um, Queen, yeah, and Chris should be raising here. I don't think Chris is taking advantage of the opportunities when they come to him. Check, check. Got to raise there. But like it's just there. You get in all these head games because all it would take is a king to take the pot. But like I just think like in a $4 pot, like you have a good hand. Maybe you raise $4, then maybe one of us goes crazy with like a $20 bet, but then you just that is what it is. So missed opportunity there. It's $5 that just doesn't get it done. All right, 6-7 here for Chris. He shows it. He did not. Nothing there. Okay, we have a call from Alex here. Jack 8. Check, check. All in. Didn't show, but I think he said he had a pair of set or a seven or something like that. So, all right, let's do a quick check here. So it just looks like Alex kind of gets blood out. So let's go all the way to hand number 73. We'll kind of see what happens here. And so yeah, Alex, he's just doing a lot of sitting and waiting. I mean, it takes a lot of patience. I'm curious what kind of other hands he had here, but just a lot of patience to see. Yeah, maybe I would have even played this hand for a buck 60. Once again, he's sitting in a good spot. But if you want to pick your moments, and like I said, if you like just sit around and wait till you have pocket tens, you're gonna win in this game. It just takes a long time because sometimes you got to sit and wait until that happens. All right, 9-8 folds. King 7 folds. Doop a doop a doop. 3-6 folds. And like these are good plays. So I mean, there's a couple opportunities where maybe you could have pressed his advantage more, but it just you need good cards to participate sometimes, and you're just not getting them. So, and then like another drawback is when you finally do participate, that people are like, well, he's got something here. So, well, it looks like Alex did win on this hand. 9-2, 500 scares everyone out. I think that's a good call there because like he has two more chances to hit and he's kind of low, so people better be ready to go all in. So, all right, we are close here. All right, unfortunately, my pocket tens did not work here. Just a quick run through, three of a kind. Oh no, I did work here, but it did not work the other time. All right, here it is. Let's see what happens with Alex here. Actually, it's the next hand. So 10-3. Let's see what happens. 80, 160, 160. Check, check. That's good. All right, 10-3. He's got the flush potential here, and this is a classic mistake. This is how he like doubled up with that 9-2. But I think he still only has like a 36% chance of hitting here. I know I covered it in the last video. I don't remember it offhand. So he's trying to get some money into the pot, understandably so. Um, but then he doesn't hit, and now his odds are way worse. So like maybe he should have raised that on the previous hand, but it just doesn't work out. Unfortunately, Levi hits that jack, and then he goes all in. He still has a chance, and it's late in the night. And then, fortunately, it's not enough. So I think, long story short, Alex did not have very good hands. He did exhibit a lot of patience, which we like to see. And but you need hands to play, and then when you do have hands, you need other people to participate. So there's a couple spots where maybe he could have pushed a little more, but just overall, I would give that like a C plus. It is not failing by any means. So, anyways, long one tonight, 31 minutes. Just wanted to kind of go in, go through these hands. I think I went through the first 30 kind of step by step. A lot of fast moving parts. But yeah, just wanted to hone in on like how Chris and Alex just kind of slowly bled down the whole time, and like, look, even though Alex was folding, like he did not lose more than like $4 or $5. He was able to pick his spots. Unfortunately, it just ended with a 10-3 of clubs. So, anyways, we'll talk to you guys soon and have a good evening.